Welcome back to Dot Life. This week's Tiny Dot concert finds us in the beautiful backyard of Richie Parsons. Hey, Richie.
Hi, how you doing?
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
It's a great late summer day.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Not too warm, not too rainy, so
Yeah, we got to take these when we can get them.
that's right. Especially in Dorchester, you never know what you're going to get. And we're also joined by Elisa Birdseye. Hi, Elisa.
Hi,
Thanks for joining as well.
thanks.
So, Richie, you are in Quincy now, but you grew up in Dorchester.
Yes.
And where, Westmoreland? Is
Yes,
that right?
Westmoreland Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up, my family lived there from 1916 to 2016.
Okay.
And when my mom passed, we sold it. And
All in that same house.
yeah, all in
Okay.
that same house, yeah. And the people that bought the house stayed very close with us, particularly my brother Johnny did a lot of interior painting and stuff for them. But
Is that
they
Nate
invited
and Amanda?
Yeah, Nate and Amanda.
Okay.
Yep. And they invited us to do the first Dorch Fest, and we've done it there since.
Yes, I actually, that's how I found you. I don't know if you know Mary Kelly,
hmm
but we were thinking of Dorchester-based musicians, and you were one of the first ones that Mary suggested, and
Oh,
we reached
wonderful.
out to you. So you've been playing for 4 years,
Yeah, I'm playing for a lot of years before that too.
and you're decked out in Dorchfest
Oh,
garb.
yeah.
So thank you. And Elisa, I think you were actually involved in at least Dorchfest #1. You were part
Yeah.
of the committee.
Yeah, I was working at the Adams Street branch of the BPL at the time, and I think it was Mary as well who contacted me and said this would be a great venue for Dorchfest, and I said absolutely. Any way we can help, I'd be happy to help facilitate that. So
And that was right when the renovation had completed, right?
Yes,
So the new
exactly.
patio was open. Yeah.
exactly,
Beautiful new building.
nice new bathrooms.
Yes, I'm sure we took advantage of those as well. Richie, tell me more about your childhood in Dorchester and how you became Richie Parsons, the musician.
Sure. So, yeah, growing up on Westmoreland Street in Adams Corner, St. Brendan's, there was always music in the house. Like my dad had a huge collection of easy listening vocalists and music, and my oldest brother was really into Zeppelin and Hendrix, and so they would. At times there'd be 3 record players going in the house on 3 different floors, so there was always
Easy
music.
listening and Hendrix kind of don't vibe
Yeah, right.
tremendously well.
Well, then I like kind of discovered punk rock. So I was, I was working in Feline's basement, and one thing led to another, meeting people, and there was bands playing in Boston, and I had never gone into town for anything really, Park Street, you
Yeah.
know, and so me and my buddy Tommy started going in to see bands play, and the first couple of bands we saw, we were like, wow, if these guys can do it, we should go home and start writing songs. So that's how my first punk rock band on Natural Acts kind of came about. We just wrote and wrote and wrote. And, that was from 77 to about 80. And that's when we wrote the song No Surfing in Dorchester Bay, which I released.
Which you have a,
Yes, I have
a cover of
copy
here.
of it right here.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
Very
And
nice.
yeah, so we sold that at Gerard's and at Casale's Market down the street.
But you weren't Richie Parsons, you were who?
We called ourselves the Grammys,
The
because
Grammys.
that's which is also misspelled. It's
Okay.
supposed to have 2 M's, and that's like someone who's just a novice at surfing. So
Oh, okay.
that was part of the whole pun
I
behind
did
that.
not know that.
So beyond that, I've been in bands, a whole bunch of bands since 1980. Future Dads, Band 19, Tomato Monkey, and then in the 2000s, I decided to try and write stuff just for myself and see what it would be like. The first album, I just kind of sourced friends from basically all over the world that would contribute to a song, or I'd send them a tape and then they'd record and send it back.
Okay.
And I ended up going to mix it with the guy that produced it, Ken Stringfellow, in Paris. So I
nice.
really got, it was a great experience. Then before the second album came out is when I met Elisa, and we met up at Tavolo.
Tavolo, yeah.
At Tavolo. And we just started talking, and I think the conversation was like, oh, you play viola. I wouldn't mind hearing some viola on some of my songs. And I said, but I've never sat down with looking at sheet music. And Elisa said she's only sat down looking at sheet music. So, we kind of met at this
in the
level.
middle.
Yeah, at some level, and it's been great ever since. Yeah.
That's awesome. Elisa, how did you get into the viola?
Oh gosh, through a school music program.
Okay.
I grew up in a really small town outside of Atlanta, and I wanted to play the French horn, but they didn't offer that in the fourth grade. They offered strings, and I thought, oh, I'll just take some string instrument until I can, switch over to French horn. But the teacher was so convincing, and I got permission to carry her instruments around with her all day. She didn't think she was going to get any viola players, and she sold it really hard. So by the end of the day, I went home to my mom. I was like, I need to play the viola. And it just stuck. And, that's probably a good, 50 some odd years ago.
So you've done a great job marrying your sound. I think it really works very well.
Thanks.
It really helps out too, because I can play with the whole band and rock out. Or if someone says, I need something a little less, I'm like, well, we can still play the songs, just the two of us. And
Yeah.
so that kind of keeps me out there more often, and gets to, a little more focus and attention on how good of a player Elisa is. So.
Yeah,
That's
right.
very kind.
So what are your solo albums, Richie? You've got
My two solo albums. The first one's called Honey and Tears, and that's the one that I said I used people from like all over the world that have played on it. From Italy to California, I guess. Hope I didn't leave anyone out anywhere else. And then the second is called Black-Throated Blue, and that's named after my favorite warbler.
I love that album art.
That
That's
I
really pretty.
photograph. I photograph these guys here in the spring when they come through
Oh, yeah.
on migration. But my friend Joanne did the artwork for that. It's pretty awesome.
It's very nice.
And again, the guy Ken Stringfellow produced this as well,
Okay.
and he plays all over it as well.
I don't know if it's a black-throated warbler, but we do have some accompaniment. So
Yes, we did. Yeah, I know. No, these guys are far north by now. They come through about 2 weeks in
Okay.
the beginning of May.
So when did you move out of Dorchester officially?
Let's see. I guess I was 22, and I got an apartment with friends in Brookline.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but my
The 80s?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
So 82. Thanks.
Okay.
And yeah, and I was still playing music, but coming home to rehearse in the basement, because I still, even though I moved out, I could still go back and rehearse.
Yeah.
So with all the different bands for there, and then I got married in 86. So that's if I do the
Do
math.
we need to yell up to the house
No,
and verify
no,
that?
we don't have to get. Yeah, 86 I think is right.
Okay.
And then moved to Quincy in 92.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
you come back to Dorchester pretty often. We're just across the border.
Oh yeah, I mean I still have a great attachment
Yeah.
to Dorchester. Lunch every couple of weeks at the Erie Pub. Just meeting up with friends.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
What's changed?
There's more places to eat.
Definitely.
More kind of samey places, but there's definitely some good places to eat. Adams Corner is built it almost feels like it's going to be built up a bit, but all in all, it's it's pretty much the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we've been lucky enough to, because of Nate and Amanda's connection, to have you play on your childhood porch every year for Dorchfest at 4 Westmoreland.
Yeah.
What's it like to come back and play on the porch?
Well, honestly, the first year was a trip. I don't know why I was so emotional. I didn't even want to go in the house,
Oh,
and
that hadn't been your first time back, or was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it had
wow.
been. Yeah. And so, it was just kind of funky, and I even left a little early. They were wicked nice and stuff, but I
Yeah.
was just like, my brothers were all there, and some friends were there, and I'm like, yeah, but this is their place, and this is awesome, but
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to deal with it. And then I think the next year was COVID, so I took a peek.
No, the next year was rain.
Oh, next year was rain. Okay.
Yep.
The COVID year, I think I had warmed up to the fact, and we got a great tour of the
Yeah.
house, and there was still some stuff in the storeroom that was mine. I didn't ask.
Oh my
for it.
gosh.
I mean, some of our crap or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You made sure you didn't mention that was yours, so you didn't have to take it home with you.
exactly right. But it was really fun, because there's so much history in that house, and I feel so attached to it still.
Yeah.
Something I do on my Facebook page is I rewrite. Transcribe my dad's diary from 1932 to 1936, 6 from when he was
Oh, nice.
14 to 18 years old, and he didn't miss a day. So
Wow.
it's a great history of that period that I, kind of learned to understand my dad a little more by doing it.
Yeah.
And then I can save it and give it to my brothers and their kids and stuff that I've typed it out. And people get a kick out of it on Facebook
I'm sure.
anyways. The different, the vernacular and the some history stuff that
The
pops
observations.
up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, observations for a high school kid or from 12 to 18 really
Yeah.
migrate from one-word sentences to like feelings. So it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty
neat.
neat. Yeah.
Speaking of writing, Elisa, you've been in the library system for, I think you said 37 years
Yeah, I was
before you
there for
retired?
37
Yeah.
years.
And you were at the Adams branch for a while, but you also were in other locations, right?
Right. Mostly at Copley. I was at Copley for the first 20 years of my career and then moved out to the branches. I was in Alston and Codman Square and Hyde Park branch, but it was mostly at Adams Street.
Okay.
So,
My good friend Barbara Wicker was at Hyde Park branch for a long
Sure.
time. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I was there during the time when the Adams Street branch was closed for renovation when they knocked down the old building.
You went over to Hyde Park during
Yeah,
that. Okay.
Exactly.
So what was that like to lose that old branch? Were you excited for a renovation, or was it?
Yes, I did. I was very fond of that old building, even though it was pretty much literally falling apart. Like the boiler kind of gave up the ghost about a month before we were going to close down for good.
Oh, geez.
Um,
Was that in the winter?
Almost spring.
Winter
let's put it-
enough.
Yeah, but it reminded me of the little childhood library that I had gone to in my tiny town, and the librarian there was my best friend's mother, and so I think that gave me a really good feeling about libraries. That's probably why I ended up being in a library. So the difference between being at Copley, where you see hundreds and hundreds of people every week, and then being in a neighborhood where you get to know people and you see kids grow up and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. It was a big change, and I really liked it by the time I was there. And I've even since run into people who were little kids. One time I was at the MFA, and the security guard came up to me and said, "Did you work at the Adams Street Library?" And I said, "Yes." And I look up, like way up at him, and he said, "I'm so and so." It's like, oh my gosh,
You grew.
And, yeah. And the funny thing was, he had always wanted to see books about police dogs and policemen, and he was in college getting a criminal justice degree, and it's like he was always the little person he was.
Yeah.
He just grew up.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, so I saw lots of stories like that, and it was really, really nice to see. And I remember one time being at the Dorchester chili cook-off, and someone said, "You're my librarian." It's like, yes, I am.
Thankful for librarians. They
Yeah.
are a special breed. What will we hear from you today?
Let's see. The first song is going to be "When Fall Begins," and that was the last song we wrote for the first album. And I start off every performance with it. It's just kind of my comfort song to get a feeling.
And then what?
And then "Dot Girl." Dot
Sounds
Girl.
very Dorchester.
Yes. "Dot Girl" was an old song that I kind of recorded and wrote and just left by the wayside. My buddies in the band Tomato Monkey did that. And oddly enough, a year ago or so, last July, Michael Patrick McDonald reached out to me because he was doing an event in City Hall, and there was going to be Boston, Dorchester authors and poets were going to be performing. And a Dorchester woman, Linda Carney Goodrich, had just put out a book of poetry called "Dot Girl." And I said to Michael, I said, "Well, I have a song called "Dot Girl. I could play that." And so I sent him the version I had, and he sent it to Linda, and Linda liked it and got back to me. And so I got to play it at her event at
Was that
City
the
Hall.
first public performance of Dot Girl?
Yeah, I believe it
Nice.
was. Yeah,
Very poetic.
yeah.
And then what are you rapping with?
The last song is called "When You're Dancing," and that's just a real simple, kind of sway number. That also is from the first album.
Great.
Yeah.
And where can folks see you? You perform quite a bit still.
The Richie Parsons Band or Richie Parsons Duo will be playing out and about. We play in Jamaica Plain a lot.
Okay.
at the Midway.
Oh, very
at
nice.
one of
Yep.
our places.
Yep.
But I don't think we have anything booked solid right now, do we?
No.
Well, where can
No.
people stay up to date on what might be coming up?
Well, I have Richie Parsons Bandcamp, and
Okay.
that's where you can listen to music and some of my other projects and some goofy, fun comedy stuff. And also on my Facebook page, Richie Parsons Music, I always post the gigs and the upcoming stuff on that.
Great.
Yeah.
And Elisa, do you play solo or absent from Richie, or just...
I used to joke I'll play with whoever will pay me.
Okay.
Why are you paying with me?
No, I know, really. But I'm primarily a classical musician, and I play with New Bedford Symphony. So during the season, I'm with them, and then whatever other gigs come up throughout wherever.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for hosting us today. This has been lovely.
It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day, and we can't wait to hear you play.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's do it.
When fall begins, 1, 2, 3, go. Sun came up and the surf did too. I was standing right next to you. The sand was cool and the water blue. I was standing right next to you, and I wondered then, when the summer ends, will we still be friends? When the fall begins, ooh, seems like summer was just a blur. I remember every moment with her, like a lightning storm in the night. From the darkness you are my light, and I wondered then, when the summer ends, will we still be friends? When the fall begins, yeah. Ooh, wasn't looking for a summer love, fall romance I wasn't thinking of. It's like I stumbled in the sand. I reached out and I found your hand, and I wondered then, when the summer ends, will we still be friends? When the fall begins, yeah, I wondered then, when the summer ends, will we still be friends? When the fall begins, yeah. All right. This one's called Dot Girl. 1, 2, 3, 4. Friday night. Love the winter air and the crack of your footsteps as you near. On my porch I think I might. Will I hold her hand tonight? She's a dark girl. She's a dark girl in her own world. She's a dark girl in her own world. And her own world is everywhere. And her own world is everywhere. Well, her own world is everywhere. And her own world is everywhere. Well, her own world is everywhere. Well, her own world is everywhere. All right. This one's called When You're Dancing. When you're dancing, I can't